Thank you, Dr. Richardson, and to all of you for being here today. I'm really excited, especially since I've had the opportunity to spend some time with these young ladies prior to today, to introduce the Flank sisters, Brittney, the older by 6 years, and Gabrielle, who just turned 19. Ladies.
Thank you.
Gabrielle and Brittney come from a long line of entrepreneurs. In fact, they are the 6th generation in their family to own or operate a business. Mom had a fundraising company, and Dad is an arborist who owns his own business. And both instilled a sense of independence in their girls, who say they grew up without doubt in themselves because they saw their parents do the same. I think we have Mom in the audience, Grandma, and a special friend. Thank you. As a matter of fact, a little bit different than most young ladies growing up, they preferred not to play house but to play store. And one of their favorite gifts was a cash register, which they requested, and I understand received. So that was the very beginning. Then, in 2008, when Gabrielle was just 10 years old, everything changed. She was diagnosed with a rare form of pediatric leukemia. Do we have a clip?
It was back in 2008 when Gabrielle was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is a form of blood cancer. It was during this time that she and her sister Brittney began paying close attention to the ingredients in the bath and body products they were putting on their skin. This, along with enduring 2.5 years of harsh chemotherapy treatments, gave Gabrielle the vision she needed to start the frosting company with her older sister. It was quite a feat for the then 16-year-old, who also carried a full course load at school while pursuing her entrepreneurial dream. Now in its 3rd year, the frosting company specializes in natural products that are free of gluten, parabens, and sulfates. They're artisan items that are good for the bath and the body. Sold online and at Whole Food stores in the Mid-Atlantic region, those who use them also have a peace of mind. So I want to introduce you to Gabrielle and Brittney Flank right now. Welcome.
I think we got a sneak peek into the next clip. In any event, that was a pretty powerful look at your young life and your early partnership. What do you think when you look back at some of those photos from a sister's point of view and from the patient's point of view?
That's a really good question. I think that looking at those photos, is my mic on? Is this on? Okay. I think that looking at those photos serves as a reminder of where we were, and it's also motivating to us to remind us of how far we've come, and that event was the catalyst for where we are now. Yeah, definitely. It definitely puts things, shows where we started and where she is now, and definitely shows from what she overcome and what she's able to accomplish.
And I'm sure that was with a great deal of support and encouragement from everyone around her, which is always so important in any endeavor. Brittney, we mentioned the cash register, but it really isn't a joke. You really always thought of yourself as an entrepreneur. In fact, yes?
Yes, definitely. I wasn't the typical young girl that would play with Barbies, or I would rather have them in the boxes and preserve them and save them later as they would increase in value. And I saw my mom at a young age with her marketing company and her fundraising, and these big trucks would pull up to our house, and they would deliver cookie dough, and they would deliver like those bouncy balls and all these toys. And I was amazed by her, like how she was able to do that. And it was basically a kid in a candy store. So instead of people going and playing with the tutus or playing with their dolls, I would play store. And I would run a restaurant, and I made it as legit as possible. She would boss me around.
I was going to say, who was your best customer?
Yeah. No, I wasn't a customer. I was told what to do. And I know my grandparents were so supportive of that. We made it as real, and those that cash register, the toy cash register, wasn't good enough for me. Like, I needed the real thing in order to do it. And as I got older, I still had that in me, and I still wanted to play store. And then when I was 16, I started my own eBay business and my online store.
And that's it all began way back, but the eBay business was the first.
Isn't I forget?
Yeah, very good, very good. When Gabrielle became ill, how did it shift your priorities?
Oh, it definitely put life into perspective, definitely. I learned at a young age that, I had to make a choice. When she got diagnosed, I needed to decide what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to be with my friends, go to football games, or whether I wanted to be with her at the hospital. And I made the choice that I wanted to be with her. So I definitely gave up a lot, but it instilled in me that, every day is a gift, and you have to remain positive, and you have to see the good in every day, and never take anything for granted, because it can be gone in a second.
Absolutely. So Gabrielle, you were diagnosed in 2008 and on chemotherapy for 2 years. You were too ill to go to school. You spent a lot of time in bed. What sparked the connection between your illness and natural skincare specifically?
I was always a really girly child, and I always loved skincare. I remember our mom would take us to the mall, and my first stop would be the makeup counter. So I'd always want to try out products. And one day when I was sick, Britt and I were messing around with lotions and stuff, and we decided to start looking at the ingredients. So we read the ingredients on our bottles, and we did not understand what any of them were. So we looked them up only to find out that they were cancer-causing ingredients. And being a blood cancer survivor, I learned that everything you put onto your skin is absorbed directly into your bloodstream. So we didn't want to use anything that could make us sick or potentially hurt anyone else. So we started making our own products.
And what was the conversation like between the two of you when you started thinking about developing this into a business?
Okay, well, it's actually a really funny story, because when we were little, we used to bake together, and I used to always joke with Brittney that we'd own a bakery when we were older together, and she'd always shake her head and say, absolutely not. So, yeah.
Was it the bakery or the business together?
She didn't want to have a business with me.
But I think that, that with the business, it definitely brought our passions together, and we were able to put in things that, we did as a child and make it come to life now and be like, wow, I'm doing that when I'm older. And it just came naturally to us. We started fooling around in our kitchen, making our own products, started giving them out to our friends and family. And they said, you really have something here. So it was just natural for us to be like, okay, well, this is what we have to do. We have to make a website. We have to trademark. We have to make a logo. Yeah.
So with that experimenting, obviously, along with the obvious end result and success, there were some epic failures. Any stories behind any of those?
Yeah, we actually broke our parents' kitchen mixers a few times. And we ended up making batches that smelled like toothpaste, and our dad would come in the kitchen and be like, what the heck are you guys doing?
Yeah, we would be like, try this, we're so excited, and he would be like, what is this? And it would smell and like toothpaste, and yeah.
So it was a lot of help from within.
Yes, definitely, and trial and error for sure.
Right. And well, thank goodness you didn't give up. Just back to the product a little bit. Obviously, you have your commitment to doing chemical-free and natural skincare products, and your success at Whole Foods is certainly indicative of, the value of your product. But what, in your terms, what makes you different from all the other skincare products that are out there?
Definitely our story, I would have to say, is a big one. Just showing anyone that they can take a negative experience and turn it into a positive. And people can recreate products, but they can't recreate us, They can't recreate our sisterhood. And we just wanted to make sure that we educated people about the importance of natural products, and, a large percentage of what you put onto your skin, like Gabby said, is absorbed directly into your bloodstream. And just becoming aware of it, but also giving back to a cause, like helping to give a portion of our proceeds to find a cure for childhood cancer.
And you bring that up. Your philanthropy is very important to you. And what are some of the organizations and that you feel meaningful and like to partner with and do partner with?
For us, our parents always instilled how important it is to give back. So for years, even when I was sick, we'd come up with organizations or businesses, ideas that could give back. So before we even started the frosting company, we started a program where we'd bring celebrities to meet sick kids in the hospital. And we started with Nick Jonas and Miranda Cosgrove and expanded from there. And then now, because our business was founded because of my diagnosis, we want to use it as a platform to give back. So we donate our portions of our proceeds to childhood cancer research.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that is brought out to the public via internet, social media?
Yes.
I understand that's a very big component of what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you are the first business partners we've had on this stage, and partners. So there's something called the 80% rule, and I have to read this because I want to make sure I don't get it wrong. 80% of unstructured business partnerships and strategic alliances fail, while 80% of companies that follow a structured approach to business partnership succeed. Although you are sisters, you admit to having very different personality styles. How do you structure your roles in the business, and who mediates when there's a disagreement?
Yeah, our mom actually does. When we have disagreements, Britt and I are both really headstrong, so our parents have to get involved to mediate. But I think that's been a really interesting balance because we are so different from each other and we know each other best, so we're able to play off our strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And your strength, I'm going to guess, is the business side of it, the cash register side of it, and yours is the marketing, potentially, and the social media interaction. Yeah, that fits.
And she's always been really like science. So she was really good at creating the products and formulating them and knowing what goes into them. And I'm more of the introvert, and she's always been an extrovert. So we kind of really balance each other out.
Sounds like a stunning partnership. We heard Dr. Richardson talk about Generation Z and their thoughts on education. But you both went to college. Brittney, you're a former Penn State and DeSales graduate, and Gabrielle, you're a freshman at NACAC right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could have achieved what you did with Frosting Company without that formal education?
Education is so important. I've taken things that I've learned from college or even high school as well, both of them together, because business is something that relates back to every subject. English to history, like you can all relate that back. And I think it's so important, you get what you put into it as much as you get back. So if you try really hard and you have a goal to set, and you can accomplish anything. And I think that I've had classes that help me with nonprofits and researching nonprofits and seeing where everything goes and the structure of a business from communications, and yeah, education is really important.
Yeah, I definitely have a unique perspective on it because when I am taking business classes, I'm able to take what my professors say and see how it works in real life or see how it's worked in the past. But I definitely think education is important and taking classes seriously and really valuing it.
So it helped you in your situation, and that's important.
Yes, 100%.
Your business increased by 300% last year, thanks to your wholesale distribution. That is amazing. What's next for Frosting Company?
We want to continue to grow our wholesale and to get in more stores across the country, spread our awareness about our story, about giving back, and really about what you put onto your skin. Having people read the ingredients labels on their beauty products, like we read the ingredients that we do on our food products. We're so accustomed to reading, what's in our food, but what's in our products. And we just want to continue to do that and continue to inspire people that no matter what age you are, that you can accomplish what you want to.
And what about for you, Gabrielle?
Definitely, this is my first semester, or my second semester of college, so finishing up college, still being involved with the company, as well as the second company that I own too. So just continuing with
and
that.
I understand from a former conversation that we had that you have another interest, which is more literary, if
Yes,
you will.
definitely. I hope to publish my book.
Fantastic. And for you?
Continuing with with our business. I've always enjoyed business from a really young age, as I said before, and I just want to continue to do that.
Do you see others growing out of this particular company, or do you see a different type of company emerging?
I've always had a passion for starting a business or ideas, just coming up with ideas. We'll just watch something on TV, and I'll be like, that'd be a great business idea. But continuing the frosting company for sure.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you both for sharing your story. It's certainly inspirational from many aspects, and your dedication to your professionalism and your faith before profit is refreshing and admirable, and I think important for all of us to embrace as we move out into the business world. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.